advertising, common dealership mistakes, and salesperson's licensing. So advertising, I mean, I'll probably teach an entire class just on advertising alone. But some of the biggest things as far as advertising are concerned are some common business practices that I think a lot of dealers may or may not know. The biggest thing I would say is making sure that you're fully disclosing everything about the car, notating that you are a licensed dealer in whatever postings you have. Have consistent pricing as well, because if someone comes in and says, I would love to pay for a vehicle around 12 grand and you've got it advertised on special at 10 grand, you actually have to give them the 10 grand as a discount. You have to make sure that they know, hey, we've got a special on this, and have to honor the advertised sales price. So important that we're articulating that correctly. And as far as places to start, some really basic stuff. Have a good website. Make sure that it's mobile compliant, because not only will search engines appreciate you a lot more, it'll be more optimized for SEO, but your customers will thank you as well. Nothing is worse than having a dealership that is straight out of 1995 with the way that they're doing things and not having a website that affects it appropriately. And a good DMS software like V12 can help you with that. That's one of the big things, and why we work with V12 so strongly is because they're an advertising company. They can have everything posted where it needs to go and all the various outlets to make sure that you're getting that max exposure. But what can you do for yourself on a smaller level outside of the website? Making sure Google My Business, having a good Google profile for your business is crucial. Because when people are searching for cars, they want to know about the local dealerships. They want to know about the people that are down the road. Especially if you're a destination drive or you specialize in something in particular, making sure that that's done appropriately. And then Facebook, having a good Facebook business page, having reviews on that as well. It's hard to run a small business. And that's why I encourage you with this class, please take the time to, if you liked what you got here today as far as the business was concerned, seek us out on Google. You're going to be getting an email from us. Take the time. Let us know how we're doing. That actually goes a long way as far as our advertising is concerned to help other car dealers like yourself make sure that they get the proper guidance and education. So if you could take the time, I would greatly appreciate that. And then as far as other effective means of advertising, can you guys think of some ways that would be good, or you've seen cars advertised that you felt were effective?
Well, a lot of them are kind of old school that you don't really do anymore. It's like, so I suppose online classifieds are still big. Auto Trader, Craigslist, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You mentioned Facebook. If you're big enough, obviously television and radio
Sure.
are a great avenue, but very costly.
Well, you say it's old school, but Auto Trader and Craigslist is still, obviously depending on what your budget is for advertising, still very much
Yep.
things that dealerships use every single day. It depends on what you're looking for, though, too. And a lot of your customers, you got to think about it. That's where they're going there for deals. They're going there to try to get some kind of guidance on, instead of going to a large chain or a large franchise store. They're looking for, hey, is there a small business out there that can help me? That's the biggest thing. Do you guys carry financing? You're going to hear that a lot. And do you guys have banks that accept bad credit? And that's what we're here for. We're here to try to help facilitate that in any way that we can. So important things to keep in mind. So I've also listed out some common dealership issues. I like to say it's common sense, but with common sense not being so common, it's one of those things I definitely will tell you to take the time, go through it, review it, make sure that it's things that you're aware of and that you're up to date on. And when in doubt, you can always reach out to an attorney, your local independent auto dealer association for guidance as far as those compliance portions are concerned. Here's a fun one: stolen vehicles. I know this is going to be weird before your test. Stolen vehicles are returned to the rightful owner. That's important. That will be on your test. So important things to definitely keep in mind when it comes to any kind of stolen property. And I have to preface this now because I have had students before that have called 911 to verify their vehicles. Please do not call 911 to verify your vehicles. You can call the non-emergency line of the local police department or run a KSR report for active title information. So, important things to keep in mind. Any questions around stolen vehicles?
So don't call 911.
I know it seems, but it's weird. I've had, I've been doing this for a lot of years, and I've had dealers not just with being actively out in the field, but even in class where they bought cars off the street and they've taken it to the DMV, and DMV is not going to say, "Hey, you, please wait right here," and all of a sudden you're going to turn around and there's going to be two people behind you that are going to ask you a lot of questions. Okay. And you're going to be there in handcuffs. You're going to wonder what's going on. So it does happen. You obviously want to try to minimize that as much as possible, but unfortunately, still a part of the culture that is our business. So any other questions?
Nope.
All right. Salesperson's licensing. Now, in order to talk numbers for a dealership, you have to be licensed at DMV. Now, what does that take? Really, it's not much. It's now digitized, so you can go and create a portal, log in online, do your application. It will involve the live scan portion and then filling out some information that was the OL16, and now has been digitized, so that way we can make sure that we get that taken care of. Why is that so important? Because we want to make sure, because you're dealing with customers' personal information and you're dealing with a lot of sensitive materials, they are going to run a background check, make sure, just like a dealer, no misdemeanor crimes or felonies in the previous 10 years. In fact, a lot of clients that I have that have had any kind of criminal history, I encourage them, if they have questions about it, try to get a sales license first. And usually, if you can clear a sales license, it's probably okay to pursue that dealer's license, but I would still reach out to occupational licensing for proper guidance as far as that portion is concerned. So any questions on salespeople? Key thing again to remember for your test, anytime we're talking about people and the DMV is 10 days. So people plus DMV is 10 days. All right. Next up, we're going to be talking about vehicle history list and forms needed for registration and transfer.